Don't choose randomly. 7 house paint colors that bring bad luck and block wealth. Did you know that the color of your house can influence your luck, prosperity, and even the health of your family? Many people focus only on aesthetics, forgetting that colors, according to Feng Shui, can have a powerful impact on the energy of a home. Choosing the wrong paint color can make your living space feel heavy and gloomy, even blocking prosperity and bringing misfortune to the homeowner. Some colors may seem harmless but can unintentionally weaken positive energy, causing work stagnation, family conflicts, and various obstacles in life. In Feng Shui, every color carries its own energy, capable of either attracting good fortune or accidentally creating negative vibes. A house with an inauspicious color not only affects the mood of its residents, but can also lead to financial losses, strained family relationships, poor health, and career setbacks. That's why selecting a paint color should not be based solely on personal preference or trends, but must be carefully considered to ensure harmony in terms of Feng Shui. In this video, we'll share 7 colors that are considered unlucky in Feng Shui and can negatively impact your wealth and energy flow. If you're planning to repaint your house or simply want to know which colors to avoid to maintain prosperity and peace, make sure to watch until the end. Before we dive into the main content, leave a comment below with a positive affirmation that you want to attract into your life, such as, "I welcome prosperity and good fortune into my home," or anything else you desire. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on useful insights about Feng Shui and home design. 1. Pure black. When we think of black, we often envision elegance, mystery, and sophistication. In Feng Shui, black is closely tied to the water element, symbolizing wisdom, depth, and intelligence. It's the color of the unknown, of silent reflection and profound insight. Used in the right context, black can transform a room into a stylish sanctuary and even attract wealth. However, as with any powerful tool, when used improperly, black can quickly become overwhelming. Let me share with you an ancient Zen story that may shed light on this idea. A monk once spent years meditating in a dark cave, embracing the stillness that darkness provided. Over time, he gained great wisdom, but the moment he stepped back into the light, he realized that prolonged darkness could stifle growth. Too much stillness can leave you stuck, without the energy to move forward. Similarly, black, when overused in a home, can weigh heavily on the atmosphere, creating a sense of isolation and even emotional stagnation. It's like the dark cave. The wisdom it brings is balanced only when paired with light. For those sensitive to energy, living in a home dominated by black can feel emotionally draining. The darkness surrounds you, creating an oppressive atmosphere that affects mental health, possibly leading to stress, anxiety, or even depression. It's not that black is inherently bad, it's the imbalance that causes the problem. Feng Shui teaches us that our homes, just like our lives, need balance. The overuse of black tilts the energy too far toward the inside, leaving the space feeling lifeless and the people inside disconnected. But black can be an incredibly powerful tool when used strategically. Just as the Buddha taught that everything must find balance to avoid suffering, black can be a wise choice when paired with lighter colors. Think white, pale yellow, or green. These colors bring the much-needed yang energy into the space, creating a harmonious flow. Rather than painting entire walls black, use it for smaller areas like accent walls, doors, or lower sections of the room. This allows the depth and elegance of black to shine without overpowering the space. In this way, black can be both powerful and balanced, bringing wisdom into your home while allowing positivity to thrive. 2. Dark green. Dark green evokes the image of dense forests, rich with growth and life. But in Feng Shui, it carries deeper implications. Green, especially dark green, is rooted in the earth element, symbolizing stability, prosperity, and growth. Yet when it becomes too dominant, it can absorb too much energy, causing stagnation. And much like the old adage, too much of anything is bad, dark green can be harmful when overused. There's a story from Buddhist teachings that perfectly illustrates this concept. A farmer, diligent and hardworking, planted crops year after year. But one season, he became so absorbed in his work that he neglected the weeds that surrounded his crops. Over time, the weeds grew unchecked, absorbing the nutrients from the soil and suffocating the plants. What could have been a season of abundant growth ended in disappointment. Just like the crops, too much dark green in the home can choke off the flow of positive energy, leaving you feeling stuck and unmotivated. Dark green has the ability to absorb energy, which sounds great in theory, but in excess, it prevents movement. This can create a sense of heaviness in the home, diminishing motivation and causing stagnation in key areas like career and finances. When too much dark green fills the space, it makes people hesitant to change, and this lack of dynamism can stop opportunities from flowing. Careers become stagnant, and financial prosperity feels elusive, like the crops unable to grow in the shadow of the weeds. But this isn't to say dark green is without its merits. In moderation, it can be a beautiful, grounding color. It represents growth, vitality, and connection to nature. When used as an accent, like on furniture or in small doses on curtains or indoor plants, it can bring the refreshing feel of nature into the space without overwhelming it. Combining dark green with lighter shades, such as pale yellow or white, can restore balance, allowing the energy to flow freely while still invoking a sense of calm and grounded stability. Remember the Buddhist teachings on the importance of moderation. The path of wisdom is the path of balance. Similarly, when we balance dark green with lighter, more energizing colors, we create a harmonious space that fosters both growth and vitality. It's all about finding the right amount of energy that nourishes without draining. 3. Ash gray. Ash gray may seem like an innocent, neutral color that embodies calmness and stability, but in the world of Feng Shui, this color carries deeper meanings that we must understand before making it the dominant shade in our homes. In Feng Shui, ash gray is associated with the yin energy, quiet, passive, and restful. At first glance, it may feel like a safe, subtle choice for walls, furniture, or decor. However, when overused, it can have unintended consequences, particularly when it becomes the dominant color of a space. To understand this better, let's look at the Buddha's teachings on mindfulness. Buddha often spoke of the importance of balance, pointing out that too much of anything, even silence or stillness, can create an imbalance in the mind and heart. He likened the stillness of the mind to a calm lake, but warned that if the stillness is too deep or prolonged, it may become stagnant, unable to reflect the light of wisdom or action. Similarly, ash gray, when used excessively in a home, can create a sense of coldness, like an empty space where energy cannot flow. It's not that the color itself is inherently negative, but in excess, it becomes energetically dull, draining the vitality of the environment. Psychologically, living in an overly gray space can lead to a sense of emotional detachment. The neutrality of ash gray may suppress the emotional and mental energy that we need to connect with one another. This can make the home feel like a place of solitude rather than a place of nurturing community. In a family, particularly with elderly members, young children, or creative individuals, this lack of energy can cause emotional distance and hinder communication. It's as if the home has lost its soul, leaving residents feeling disconnected from each other. One of the great teachings of the Buddha is the importance of right action, the idea that our choices shape the course of our lives. In a space dominated by gray, the right action becomes harder to discern. The energy stagnates, and this stagnation can affect our careers and finances. People living in homes with too much gray may find themselves settling for mediocrity. Motivation wanes and opportunities pass by unnoticed. As the Buddha said, the mind is everything. What you think you become. If your environment is emotionally lifeless, your thoughts and actions may follow suit. In Feng Shui, the balance of energy is key to creating prosperity and happiness. When ash gray overtakes a home, it has the potential to drain wealth and block the free flow of positive energy. Money may come in, but it won't accumulate or grow. In the workplace, people may feel mentally exhausted, unable to tap into their creativity or make bold decisions. Just as a stagnant pond breeds disease, a stagnant home can breed financial struggles and emotional fatigue. So how do we mitigate this effect while still using ash gray in our design? The key is balance. Ash gray can be a calming accent when used in moderation. Pair it with brighter colors like pale yellows, greens, or even warm whites to lift the energy in the room and encourage positive interactions. The Buddha taught us to seek equilibrium, and that same idea applies to our spaces. By using ash gray as an accent rather than the main color, we can retain its calming qualities without sacrificing the flow of energy needed for vitality, creativity, and prosperity. 4. Bright red. Bright red, on the other hand, is a color of energy, passion, and vitality. In Feng Shui, red is linked to the fire element, which is associated with the strength of yang energy, forceful, active, and dynamic. Red can invoke excitement, energy, and good fortune when used strategically. It can stimulate a space, encouraging growth, abundance, and even prosperity. But just as fire can warm a home, it can also consume it if it's not carefully managed. The power of red in Feng Shui reminds me of an ancient Buddhist proverb: too much of fire burns, too much of water drowns. This speaks to the very nature of balance. Fire, when controlled, can cook food and keep you warm, but too much fire can cause destruction. Similarly, bright red, when used excessively, can overpower a space, creating an atmosphere of restlessness and tension. It affects the people living there, making them more prone to anger, irritability, and emotional outbursts. The home, which should be a place of peace and refuge, may feel like a battleground where emotions run high and concentration is lost. The psychological impact of bright red is significant. It's a color that demands attention, but when overused, it creates an environment where attention is scattered and focus is hard to find. People living in spaces dominated by bright red may feel pressured, unable to relax or think clearly. It's as if the color's intensity is forcing them to be constantly on, never allowing them to rest or find balance. In Feng Shui, red is known for its ability to stimulate energy, particularly the kind of energy that drives financial prosperity. But when overused, this stimulation can lead to an overload, pushing people into impulsive behavior. Decisions are made hastily, and spending becomes reckless. Entrepreneurs, business owners, or anyone managing finances should be particularly cautious when surrounded by too much red. The intense yang energy can cloud judgment and lead to risky financial choices, making it difficult to save money or build long-term stability. Think about it. A business that burns brightly with passion can quickly fizzle out if not controlled. The Buddha often spoke of the importance of controlling one's desires and emotions. Desire is the root of suffering, he taught, reminding us that unchecked intensity, even in the form of a vibrant color like red, can lead to imbalance. To reap the benefits of red without falling into chaos, it's important to use it mindfully. Rather than painting entire rooms red, consider using it as an accent color. On pillows, rugs, or even in artwork. Red can be the perfect pop of energy when placed strategically on walls, doors, or furniture, inviting prosperity without overwhelming the senses. Just as the Buddha recommended finding the middle way between excess and deprivation, Finding the middle ground with red allows its energy to work in harmony with the space. When used correctly, red can infuse your home with vitality, boost your energy, and open doors to opportunities. But when used excessively, it can disrupt the natural flow of life and energy. Balance, as always, is the key. In this way, red teaches us about the power of passion and the importance of restraint, how to ignite the fire of success without allowing it to consume everything in its path. 5. Light white light. White is one of the most popular colors in modern home design. It evokes a sense of purity, sophistication, and cleanliness, making it an ideal choice for creating a minimalist, airy aesthetic. In Feng Shui, white is associated with the metal element, representing clarity, brightness, and purity of thought. However, while white can make a space feel expansive and open, when overused or used improperly, it can have unintended consequences on the energy flow, prosperity, and even the emotional well-being of the people living there. This brings to mind an ancient story from Buddhist philosophy about the nature of emptiness. The Buddha once taught that emptiness is not something to be feared, but something to be understood. Emptiness in this case does not mean a lack of meaning, but rather the space for new possibilities to emerge. However, too much emptiness can lead to a feeling of loneliness, a loss of direction, or a sense of being ungrounded. Similarly, when a home is entirely painted in light white, the purity of the space may become overwhelming, creating a sense of emptiness that lacks warmth or connection. The energy in a home dominated by light white can become too passive, leaning heavily toward yin. Yin energy, which is calming and quiet, can be an excellent quality in a space, but it requires balance with yang energy to bring vitality and movement. Without this balance, light white can create a cold, lifeless atmosphere, draining the energy from the home. Residents may feel fatigued, uninspired, or emotionally detached, making it especially difficult for people who need warmth and creativity in their surroundings, such as families with children or those working in creative fields. In cold climates, this imbalance becomes even more pronounced. The absence of warm tones can make the space feel unwelcoming, contributing to a lack of warmth both physically and emotionally. The Buddhist teaching that warmth nurtures the soul can be seen as a call to avoid creating an environment that feels barren. Light white, when not balanced properly, may lead to a sense of isolation and fatigue, and it may even have an impact on health by draining energy from the home. It is as though the very essence of the space is not able to support the well-being of its inhabitants. From a financial perspective, a home filled with too much white can stagnate prosperity. Feng Shui suggests that a lack of dynamic energy flow makes business and financial growth more difficult. Much like a stagnant pond where energy becomes trapped, the energy in a home painted entirely white can become stagnant, making it challenging to achieve long-term financial stability. To counteract this, it is important to balance light white with warmer tones, soft yellows, beiges, or even wood accents, to encourage the flow of positive energy and to keep the space vibrant, both mentally and physically. The Buddha often spoke of balance in all things, saying, "The middle way is the way to true peace." When it comes to light white, the middle way is a combination of the purity of white with other colors that encourage vitality, connection, and warmth. Just as a wise monk knows when to meditate in silence and when to engage with the world, your space can be designed with a thoughtful balance that nurtures both tranquility and energy, allowing for both creativity and prosperity to flourish. 6. Dark brown. Dark brown is often used in interior design for its grounding, earthy qualities. It is the color of strength, stability, and endurance. In Feng Shui, it belongs to the earth element, symbolizing rootedness, nourishment, and connection to the physical world. When used thoughtfully, dark brown can create a sense of calm, stability, and luxury. However, as with all powerful elements, if dark brown is overused or poorly combined with other colors, it can have negative consequences on the energy flow of the home. The Buddha taught that a tree with strong roots can weather any storm. This saying captures the essence of dark brown's grounding energy. It provides a strong foundation that can support the growth of all other energies in the space. But when overused, it can create an environment that feels too heavy, too dense, and, ironically, too rigid. A home where dark brown is used excessively can become suffocating, lacking the vitality and lightness that are necessary for both personal and financial growth. I am reminded of the Buddhist practice of mindfulness, where the mind is compared to the earth. It is stable, yet flexible enough to grow. If the earth becomes too rigid or too overwhelmed, growth becomes stunted. Similarly, when dark brown is used as the primary color in a home, it can cause the space to feel heavy and oppressive. For small homes or spaces with limited natural light, this effect is even more pronounced. The dark tones can make the space feel cramped and uncomfortable, draining the room of its natural vitality. In such an environment, homeowners may feel more stressed, mentally fatigued, and lacking in motivation. The earth element's connection to dark brown is powerful, but too much earth can make it hard to breathe. If the flow of energy becomes blocked, prosperity and financial growth can suffer. People living in homes dominated by dark brown may find that their careers stagnate and money comes in but doesn't stay. Just as the Buddha warned about clinging to material things, an environment dominated by dark brown can encourage clinging to the past, making it harder to move forward in life. To balance the grounding nature of dark brown, it's important to combine it with lighter tones, such as soft whites, light yellows, or even touches of green or light wood. This creates an environment that feels both stable and dynamic, where energy flows freely and prosperity can grow. As the Buddha said, in the middle there is peace. By integrating both dark brown's grounding stability and lighter, more energizing colors, you can create a home that offers both a strong foundation and a dynamic, flourishing environment. 7. Dark blue. Dark blue is a color that belongs to the water element in Feng Shui, representing depth, tranquility, and wisdom. Much like the vast ocean, it creates a sense of calm and peace, inviting relaxation and focus. For people whose elemental energy is associated with water or wood, dark blue can be a powerful color, enhancing their energy and supporting career growth. However, for those whose elements are more aligned with earth or fire, dark blue may not be the best choice, as water weakens fire and overcomes earth, potentially reducing prosperity and luck. This brings to mind a story from Buddhist teachings about the concept of balance. In the Lotus Sutra, the Buddha speaks of the need for harmony between all things, saying, "All things in their own way must find their balance." This is true in life and in our environments. The water element, represented by dark blue, offers a peaceful, reflective energy. But for those with different elemental energies, dark blue can feel overwhelming or out of place, reducing the flow of prosperity. If dark blue is used on the exterior of the home, it is advisable to combine it with lighter colors to create a more balanced and inviting atmosphere. A dark blue house on its own can create a sense of heaviness, making the space feel distant or too cool. However, by pairing it with white, light gray, or earth tones, you can maintain the calming qualities of dark blue while ensuring the space feels welcoming and balanced. For interior spaces, dark blue works best as an accent color, used sparingly to create focal points or feature walls. Too much dark blue in a room can make it feel too cold, uninviting, and overly introspective. This is particularly true in spaces where you want to maintain energy and movement, such as in a living room or kitchen. Proper lighting is also crucial when using dark blue. Warm lighting, such as warm white or yellow, can neutralize the coolness of dark blue, creating a cozier, more harmonious ambience. Dark blue teaches us about the importance of reflection and introspection, but just as the Buddha taught us to not become too attached to one thing, we must not become overly attached to the calmness that dark blue offers. By finding balance with other colors, you can harness the positive qualities of dark blue while maintaining a vibrant, dynamic energy in the home. Conclusion: choosing a house paint color is not just about aesthetics. It directly impacts Feng Shui, fortune, and the overall energy of the living space. Colors like light yellow, cream white, aqua blue, or beige not only brighten up the space, but also attract wealth, create balance, and bring comfort to the homeowner. A home with well-balanced colors is not just a place to live, but also a source of motivation, helping the homeowner progress in their career and enjoy a fulfilling life. Are you considering changing your house's paint? Think about it carefully, as the energy your home radiates has the power to shape your future.